Hello everyone and welcome to another edition of Windows Server Core 2022. Today I wanted to talk about storage spaces. So in order to actually show you all the PowerShell commands that will allow us to complete our storage spaces in Windows Server, I just wanted to do it on the GUIsh version. So everything will be uh, you will be able to see every change that is being made with the PowerShell. But first of all, let's go through creating of course, those storage spaces with the functional GUI. So you will have an overview of everything and an understanding when the commandlets are gonna be uh, put later on. So first of all, let us go to the disks, because I have attached to my virtual machine 4 disks. 3 of them are without anything, they are not used, and 1 disk is the main drive. So as you can see, I got 3 disks, and the 4th disk is being used by the server. And we are gonna use those 3 disks to create our storage spaces. Okay, so first of all we need to go here into File and Storage Services. From here we can check our disks. So here are all our disks. So this is my main one. It's converted to GPT partition. These ones are not. We can go to storage pools. So this is like a primordial storage pool. And we're gonna create a new storage pool here. And let's actually name it just plain Windows storage. And here we have the opportunity to pick the disks which we want to be included in our pool. So I will just pick all of them. Of course we can use the allocation here either from hot spare, manual or automatic, depending on what kind of allocation you want to set for your disks. I'm gonna choose the automatic. And of course here we have the total capacity of our 3 disks. So each of them has 60 gigs. In total it's 180 gigabytes of space. So basically this is the setup for our storage pool. I'm gonna create it. And once the storage pool has been created, I will just refresh everything here. And we have our Windows storage one here. We can go here and we can go to properties, and you can check all the data required for our pool, our health and details. So the capacity of the pool. Now what we are gonna do, we're gonna create a new virtual disk. We're gonna select the pool, and here from the wizard we again gonna go here and gonna choose of course a name. As you can see, we have here a specific option which is called create storage tiers. On this virtual disk, storage tiers enable automatic movement of most frequently accessed files to faster storage. What it basically means is if you have disks that are HDDs and you have SSDs. By clicking this option, you enable the storage pool to choose the best and the fastest disks for allocating your data. So basically, if you have like half of SSDs and half HDDs, the pool is gonna automatically choose the best disks and the fastest disks, so the SSDs. As you can see, I don't have any HDDs here, so in order actually to show you how it can be actually done with this option, I will need to use my notes, and we will actually create few HDDs and SSDs, or maybe most of them are gonna be SSDs. So let's do this. So get physical disk, storage pool, get storage pool, and the name of the storage pool, in our case, is going to be storage pool. So it's gonna be Windows Storage 1. And we are setting all of those disks as SSDs. Now we need to actually refresh everything. So display will be complete when the server inventory has finished. I will just pause the video for a moment till it refreshes. Okay, so now we can check our disks. If we go to properties, you can see the media type is SSD. Sorry, SSD. So all of them are SSDs. Okay. And now let's change one of them into an HDD. So I'm just gonna change the storage pool. And we're gonna change one of them into a HDD. Okay, it's gonna be refreshed. Let's check all of them. SSDs, okay. And the last one is now HDD. Okay, so now when we have two SSDs and one HDD, we can actually go once again to new virtual disk. And now, as you can see, it's not grayed out because we have one disk that is actually slower than those two disks. So we can actually use this option. So now our pool is gonna automatically use the best disks that we have as in the first line. So those disks are gonna be used most commonly. And now let's actually name our pool, maybe just storage pool 1. Let's keep it nice and simple. Okay, I'm not able to use an enclosure awareness because I don't have any other. As you can see, enclosure awareness store copies your data on a separate storage enclosure, which I don't have here. I have only one server here. Okay, and now what we have here. So what kind of options are we able to actually pick here? So as you can see, now we can pick only two options, simple and mirror. So basically simple corresponds to RAID 0 and mirror corresponds here to RAID 1. So if you are familiar with RAID configuration, basically this configuration doesn't protect you from anything, and this configuration protects you from losing one disk, because you have two disks and between those two disks data is being copied. When one disk goes down, the other one will be active and everything will work. We should also have another third option here, which is tier, but it's not available because basically now my storage pool sees two disks, two SSDs and one HDD. So basically if I wanted to have the tier option, which is basically RAID 5, which is I think the best option of them all, I would have to change all of my disks to SSDs, change all of them to SSDs. Okay, and now let's actually cancel this. Let's create new pool. As you can see, this option is not available because all the disks are at the same speed. And now we have the parity. So if you want to use parity, which is basically RAID 5, you need to have all the disks in a similar place as I did. So you cannot have SSDs and HDDs because you will be only able or permitted by this wizard to choose either simple or mirror option. Parity basically is only available, as it says, at least 3 disks. So you have to have at least three disks to use parity. And in this configuration, if one of your disks fails, which we are gonna also see later on, the rest of the disks are gonna try to rebuild the data, and you will be able still to use the whole amount of things that you are actually um, using. So let's choose parity, and here we can choose provisioning type. So we can either choose the thin provisioned or fixed provisioned. If you're familiar with provisioning types, the thin provisioning basically makes your disk not set up so it doesn't use the whole amount of gigs that you have immediately. It basically grows with the things that you are putting on the disk. And the fixed option actually uses the whole amount of disk immediately and is sometimes actually considered to be uh, more efficient. So it's up to you if you want to have the thin provisioning or fixed provisioning. I'm gonna choose thin. And of course the amount of the size that I want to allocate here for this disk. And basically I want to choose the whole amount. So here we're gonna create the virtual disk. Okay, we can close it down. So here's our virtual disk, which is called pool1. it's in parity, it's thin provisioned. Okay, so we can go to properties here, and as before you can see the capacity, allocated space, useful space, health, so we can check all the disks if the disks are okay or not, and media type of course of the disks, and then the details, right? Read write access. Okay, next we will need to create a volume, so we're gonna have to go to disks, we're gonna go to tasks, and we're gonna create a new volume. I'm gonna choose next, and here we have our disk that we just created, which is named pool1 and has the full capacity of 178 gigabytes, and the subsystem is called Windows Storage. As you can see now, we are specifying the amount of the volume, so I'm going to choose the whole amount of the gigs that is available here. We can choose the drive letter, of course, here that we want to specify for the disk, and I'm going to choose the first one that is optional here, maybe A. And of course the file system, either NTFS or refs, depending on which one you want. Allocation unit size, if you want to change it, I'm going to leave it on default, and a volume label, which I'm gonna just call storage data. And now we are gonna create the volume, and the volume has been created. We can go to volumes. As you can see, the volume A, storage data, thin provisioned, 178 gigs has been created, and we can go here, and our storage data A is here. So we can go here on our storage data, we can look upon it here, can go to the properties of this, used space, free space, right? So let's actually create here a folder called share, and I'm gonna set it up. So advanced sharing, I'm gonna share this folder. I'm gonna choose the permissions. Of course, I'm gonna remove everyone, and I'm just gonna use using the credentials of a administrator of a domain. I'm gonna choose that domain administrators are gonna have the full access to this folder. And let's say that Mr. Bill Paxton is only gonna have the read permission to this folder. Okay, so basically we can now actually create some kind of document as well. We're gonna just save the document, and we're gonna leave it as this. I'm gonna go to my domain controller, and from here we can actually go to network, and we're gonna see so it's not visible yet, so I think I will actually also do a restart after all of those configurations. Okay, so after the restart, we can actually check the whole path to our share. And we can actually copy this, and we're gonna go to our domain controller. As you can see, I have already applied, so we can enter the share from here, of course, because it's in our network. We have the privileges to read and write. So here's the share. So basically this is how it looks, and this is how you can configure um, the storage pool. And all the volume and the volume plus the disks. And now we are gonna simulate what will happen if we actually take one of those disks out. So I'm not able from here to just make some kind of error on the disk, so it will fall out from the pool, but I can actually detach the disk. So we will just go to the virtual machine, and we are gonna detach one of the disks. So I'm just gonna remove it. We're gonna do it like this. And now let's actually refresh everything. So as you can see, one of the disks has failed, lost communication to the disk, right? We can go to properties, health, warning, has lost communication. So let's say something happened to this disk, but the two other disks that are in the pool are still working. So if we go to our share, let's go here and we're gonna check the share. As you can see, the storage data volume still works, and you can still work and edit everything in the file. Nothing happened. The same thing goes to, let's say, my DC, right? We can still use the share. I don't know if I will be able to see it from here, or do I have to actually again go to the let's go here, sharing. I'm just gonna copy this. Now through the share we're gonna, as you can see, everything works because of the parity, of course. So thanks to the setting of RAID 5 and our parity settings, the disk that was actually, let's say, damaged, or it was, I don't know, it had some kind of errors or something else happened, it went from the pool and only two disks remain, but those two disks, thanks to this setting, are able to keep everything together, and you will be able to still use the disk despite this failure. Okay, so now we can actually even go to our PowerShell and we can use this command. So get physical disks, then storage pool, and we're gonna get storage pool, and we are specifying our storage pool name, and we can actually get a quick overview of our disks. So as you can see, those two disks, those two SSDs are okay. This one has lost communication, right? Okay, so now let's actually check. We can actually reset the disk, or we can remove the disk. Let's try removing the disk. And here we have a warning about removing the disk from the pool. Do you want to remove this physical disk from the pool? Yes. So as you can see, the selected physical disk cannot be removed before removing a physical disk, you must add a replacement physical disk to the storage pool. The requirement disk must be set to automatic allocation, be equal in size or larger than the used space on this physical disk. Okay, so basically, before we can actually remove this one, we need to add another one in its place, which I'm gonna do right now. Let's go to the settings of our virtual machine. I'm just gonna add another hard drive, allocate the same amount of space, just gonna call it volume 5. There we go. And now let's actually check. So we'll need to refresh everything. And from here we're gonna add physical disk. It's gonna be set to automatic. Okay, and now we can actually go here. Gonna remove this disk. As you can see, it turned from the usage is retired. So basically, it's the one that was damaged. Okay, so as you can see, we got this box saying that Windows is repairing affected virtual disks during this action. The operational status of the virtual disks shows in service. Recommend that you do not make changes to the storage pool or its virtual disks while the operational status is in service. So basically, we need to leave it, and when it's done, as you can see, everything has been done. The disk has been added to our pool, and it has replaced the retired disk. We can go to our disks. We got here our pool. We can maybe here to the storage pool. We can check it out from the properties, details, health. Everything is fine. We got all 3 disks up. Of course, this one, the last one, is not set to SSD. The media type hasn't been actually specified. So if you would like to set it up for SSD, you would need to actually again specify the media type for all of the disks, like I did here. And now if I actually refresh everything and go to properties, details, health, now all of them are SSDs and everything checks out fine. Okay, so this was part 1 of storage spaces. I just wanted to show you from the GUI point of view how it actually looks, and just to make it easier for PowerShell, because PowerShell is gonna be just commands, and of course I'm gonna do it here on this environment, so we will actually see how the commands are changing and everything, and how the pool is being created, how the disks are being created, what options can you choose. But all of this is gonna be in part 2 of this video. So again, like and subscribe if you like the content, and I will see you in part 2.